Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to the Resume and AC Masterclass. We have with us today Dr. Aikerim. She has a PhD and Master's in Bioscience from King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. She's also a seasoned academic consultant, over 11 years of experience in academia. Aikerim has a passion for empowering students and professionals to achieve their career goals. She has a background in research, project management, and science communication. Dr. Aikerim has helped countless individuals create impactful resumes and applications that stand out. Welcome to her masterclass, Dr. Aikerim.
Okay, thank you everyone for organizing this type of event, and I'm happy that like University of Manchester Saudi students are kind of like creating this kind of like the content for academics. This is very nice to hear, and especially in Arabic that I saw Noura send me the YouTube link and because Arabic content is not very saturated as much as the English content. So without further ado, let's get started. My name is Aikerim again. I will be going over with you a resume and CV, how to make it, how to impress yourself using this tool, because your resume and CV is your first impression. Okay, so I graduated this January. Just a little backstory about me from KAUST. This year in January, I archived my dissertation and was finally free from academia. Now I'm just taking a little bit of break, a little bit of like a breather, and I became a mother too last year. So things were rolling very quickly and dynamically. And for the first time, I'm just kind of hitting on the brakes and enjoying taking things slowly. Okay, and one of the things that I'm doing right now is academic consultancy. So people with having troubles with academia in general that need another pair of eyes to look into their situation or their resume and CV, I'm here to help you, because I've been through most of the things that you're probably going through right now. So feel free to reach out to me after this session. Today we will be going over I will give you like introduction in terms of like what's the resume is about, why we need the resume and CVs, and you need to understand each section of your resume. So we will go over these steps like very slowly. We will break down the sections, and then you can ask me questions too, by the way. I will have a hands-on template. I will probably send it over to you if we're kind of running out of time, if it's kind of extending into like second hour or something. I don't want to bore you to death. And I will mention you common mistakes and that people do. It's something that's people don't realize, but it's unfortunately the case. And also how companies and universities, including KAUST and everyone, all the companies, big companies usually use AI, and we need to kind of tailor those AI requirements for your resume to be selected by AI and be promoted to the university admission or the job recruitment team. And I will take your questions later on. So first thing, understand why recruiters hire you. It's not just because your GPA is high. It's not because of your outstanding, like your coursework. Everything is like, in UK, I know you have, like a second degree, first degree, in terms of like, whenever you graduate with your bachelor's or master's, you have like a 2.1 or 1 first degree or something. These are fine, but they also want to hire someone that has soft skills, that's pleasant to work with. Okay, so this is your first impression, and the first impression is very important. And very first impression is done by those resume and CVs. This is the digital first impression. And also whenever you're mentioning, for example, your LinkedIn profile in your resume and CV, or even people just even Googling your name and your LinkedIn profile pops up first, you want to make sure that impression is also a good one. Okay, you don't want to have like a imageless LinkedIn profile that's dead, but then it is mentioned in your CV. Like don't mention it if you don't even have a profile. Avoid using jargons, slangs, that whenever you are in the interview stage. And you want to provide necessary information to recruiters in a concise and easy to read format. Okay. you want to have this storytelling part of it, and that meets the job description, because the job description part, usually a lot of people kind of skip through it or skim reading it, but the job description has all the keywords for AI and for the recruiters to interview you, okay? And you want to mention those in your CV or resume. And don't waste time with unnecessary words, information, a lot of like air information that's very like, generic, kind of like saying things, but kind of don't say details of what you actually achieved or done in your career. And don't confuse the reader with like slangs. Again, I said that, for example, I look at the bigger picture, or I think outside of the box, or I'm a global thinker. What does it mean? Okay, like you don't want to like waste people's time. Okay. Oops. Next one. Yeah. So we will break down the sections of the resume. Okay. Oops. You have like more or less all the resumes will have very similar sections. It will be bigger or smaller depending on the your personal career or your expertise or something, but more or less you will have these sections in your resume and CV. So a resume is actually like a person's summary of a person's career in a specific style or format. And it has all these sections like headline, taglines, career synopsis, education, honors and awards, core competencies, professional experience, extracurricular activities, and computer and technical skills. More or less, you will have these ones. And please, whenever I see some people's resume, don't try to name these sections somewhat different to stand out. Okay, use what's already like very easy to read for people, easier for the recruiters or the professors to see and kind of catch their eyes. And use bolding wisely. Don't bold everything, and use like, for example, the bullet points wisely, because you want to catch the people's attention with these kind of little tricks that you have. Okay, because you have very limited space, and you don't want to waste it for bluffing, for not like bluffing, but like for air information, for just saying just to say kind of thing. Okay, so let's get started. So with a headline, this is the first part. Be very specific. Your name, your email, the best way to contact you. And if you have a good LinkedIn profile, include your LinkedIn profile. What I see a lot of times is people putting their actual address, okay, the house, apartments, numbers, or the picture of the person, or too many cell phone numbers. Just give me one that's like that's very active right now, and you can always pick it up, and the email address that's the best available. Okay. Career synopsis or research interests would be the next section. Here you want to highlight, okay, I'm using the word highlight, the roles you want to take on. Those are like, those would be in the job description part. Those would be in the, you have to read the job description of the posted job very carefully, because you want to use those words, because they will be also picked up by the first AI, and then they will be picked up by the recruitment team. It is important to use the keywords mentioned, and the bullet points and the bolding. Okay, so in a very like for example, this is actually my example. I'm a research scientist with more than 8 years of experience working in the lab, scientific literature search, building hypotheses, and resilience to conduct. This would be one of the things that I would like to take on if I'm applying somewhere. Okay, I want to be a research scientist, and I highlighted it in the one sentence. More than 5 years of oral experience in science tutoring and mentoring students in the lab, leading them in their projects, etc., etc. So I'm highlighting how much experience I have. And I'm also an active science communicator. Like, I also have, by the way, Instagram page where I'm actively talking about science in terms of like what's inside of what's behind the scenes of the science and biomedical science. On social media platforms, creating social media content, and etc. Continuously improve my expertise in leadership, scientific writing, public speech, and mentorship, etc. So I'm highlighting in 4 bullet points what are the best of the best that I have in me, and I'm kind of want to take up on these roles if there are any. Okay, this would be another example where someone would be like, for example, senior communication leader and public relations, recognized for leveraging and building relationships and cutting edge communication programs, or then more than 10 years of government sector experience focused, and etc. etc. So you want to highlight your best parts in this section in the career synopsis, and let the reader know what type of roles you've already taken and what type of roles you would like to take, and how they are kind of correlating. Okay, and this is not a big section. It's like, no, I don't know, 4 or 5 bullet points. Okay, and if you are doing a CV, this would be like, for example, research interest, not the career synopsis, but more of a research interest section, where you want to mention what type of topics are interesting for you, like neurology, neurosurgery, autism research, or like you have a teaching experience. You would want to like have a little bit of background of how you taught, or how you would like to teach, and etc. Okay, so this is for the teaching and for the CV part. Education. So education in resume is not the primary, by the way. If you notice, I've started with career synopsis, and then the education comes next. In the CV, the education wouldn't be the first one. Okay, because academia, they want to see your credentials. Who are you? And you want to list your degrees, thesis topic, if applicable, academic honors, dean's list, and GPA. And one more thing, if GPA is below 3.5, you don't need to mention it. Okay, and the most recent degrees should be mentioned first, and then go down in chronological order. It just, about the GPA, if it's I don't know, like 3.0, 3.1, or 2 point something, it's just not good first impression. You want to kind of even if you have a kind of lower GPA, you wanna work on your work experience and research experience very, very well, so that this GPA doesn't seem that important, because the person has such a rich experience background. Okay, this is example of my resume, and again, I'm using the bolding wisely. It's easy to read where I studied, where did I go for school, and when did I graduate. This one needs to be updated. December expected 2023. Yeah, I already graduated, so it's easy to read. This is the most important. You don't want to kind of so the mistakes that I see in this section, people put coursework that they've taken. So, they would put like relevant coursework and start listing, especially people after bachelor's degree. They want to fill this section. No, the fact that you already studied, for example, statistics, and then you're mentioning me, for example, your major is in statistics or business, and then you're mentioning me that you studied business administration and statistics, and then this major, the title of the major already assumes that you taken these type of courses. It doesn't mean that I'm bioscience, but I'm taking rocket science. Okay, no, I'm bioscience. I take a lot of bioscience related courses. I might take some extracurricular activities, like, I don't know, skiing class or pottery class or something, but these are just for like my extra classes to fill the arts and humanities kind of requirements courses, which was the case in the US. So, okay. This is another example. Syracuse University of North Georgia, and this person is accreditation in public relations. Like, if you have very accreditation type of requirements in your career, you might want to mention it in the education section. Next section is the experience. So again, list work experience, internships, and research projects focusing on quantifiable achievements. I want to see what was the outcome of this research experience or internship or project. Okay, so for example, if you had a like research internship, what I see a lot of times, I will be talking from what I see a lot of times and what people are kind of missing out. For example, even if you're studying master's degree, you have a thesis topic, or you're studying doctorate degree, you have a thesis topic. You want to mention those in the experience part, because this counts as a work experience. Like if you're submitting for academia, you would be mentioning it under the research experience. If you're submitting it in industry, you would say it work experience or professional experience. So you want to how can I say, you want to one second. So you want to mention these things in a quantifiable manner. And if you, for example, you've worked on budgeting, you want to mention how much was the budget. You want to mention publications out of this work or patents or etc. So first would be like, for example, I'm mentioning I've done the research internship, the location of it, and the duration, summer 2010, for example, and design. And in the bullet points, I'm slowly mentioning what type of projects I worked on. What type of projects I worked on, and then I'm mentioning what type of achievements that led this project to go to. Okay, like for example, I was employee of the month, or I established an excellent reputation in the national media, and etc. etc. Okay, so you want to mention in the paragraph. You can even mention it in the paragraph if you can. For example, people have actually one solid subject that they worked on, and this would be like, I don't know, 3-4 lines of writing and kind of summarizing what were your responsibilities, and then in bullet points you can mention what were the achievements of it. But some people have like working on several projects and they didn't really have the achievements. They just had the internship for a couple of months, maybe 2 months. It's really hard to achieve anything like in terms of quantifiability. So you can mention it like in a previous example, just bullet points of different projects you worked on. Okay, I mean, you don't have to be employee of the month for every opportunity you've had. Okay, skills. This is very important part, and this is AI part that comes into play. Core competencies. Here you see, for example, here you see bunch of kind of titles, right? Operations, resource, HR management, business efficiency, leadership. You want to mention all these kind of competencies you have, soft skills you have in this section, because these will be caught by AI. And you want to get these ones from the job description that's posted. Okay, this is very important part, even though it's kind of just kind of seems like very how can I say, why would you mention it? It's already like said in my, for example, other experiences and etc. But you kind of want to summarize these type of things. So like if you have any project management skills, leadership skills, you want to summarize it into what the potential employer might post the job under the title of, okay, like for example, social media strategist or analyst or crisis communication management, and etc. Oops. Okay. Next one would be technical and soft skills, which are also very important, especially, for example, my friend Noura, she's computer science program, so she would mention a lot of like other programming languages she can work on, operating systems, and these would be the technical and hard skills. Okay, this is also very important. This is another way that I put myself. No, it's not me. It's not me. It's not my. Another way of putting these things. Okay, honors and awards are also very important part. Like you want to mention additional credentials that set you apart from other people. If you have other like scholarships that you've had, it's also important to mention these ones, because it kind of means that you went through so much selection process already by your country or by the company that you are really good one. Okay. So this is important. For academic CV, there will be 2 additional parts. It will be publications and conferences presentations. For example, on the red side, publications, you want to mention it in the proper academic way. Okay, don't just mention, or if it's even right, even if it's under the review, write it in the parentheses under review or submitted for a publication or whatever. Okay, so it's already written piece, and it's just a matter of time to publish it, but it will be out there. Okay, so it's okay, and you can, even if you're not first author, you can still bold your name. Even, for example, you are not the first author, you're like, I don't know, one of the papers I'm mentioned in, I'm like 4th author, so I'm still bolding my name, so it's kind of popping out. It's very good practice to do so. And the conferences and presentations, for example, you went to conferences, you want to mention the location of it and the year you went on the conference, and you want to mention if you were a speaker, a poster, presentation, what were the roles of your, if you just attended, just mention the name of the conference, but no need to say that just attended. Okay. References, yeah, the very last section of your resume or CV. It's also a very important one, I would say. If you're applying for academia, like for example, a master's student applying for PhD and etc., you don't need to have all 3 references, like usually 3 or 4 or 3 or 2 references. You don't have to have all of them come from professors. It could be some leadership positions, leadership positions that people have in your lab, like for example, I don't know, so research scientists, senior lead or lab managers that worked with you too, and he or she can also have write a good word about you. Okay, this is like this. So common mistakes. This is overload of information. Once I had 17 pages. 17 pages of resume submitted to me, and person said that they see nothing wrong with it and they don't know how to condense it. So don't do that. Overload of information. Please be concise. Please be on point. No BS. I'm just I don't want to like so don't be very detail oriented. Okay, lack or overload of information is when when you look at it and it's just a lot of text. Okay, there's no bullets, there's no bolding, there's no highlighting. So I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Like read the whole thing, like, and it's like 4 pages or 3 pages or etc. So would you read 2 pages, all of it? No. So another thing is lack of information. Sometimes we underestimate ourselves. Okay, we think like, oh, it's nothing to mention about, but no, like every experience counts, every certificate that you have, courses that you've taken to improve your leadership management or like your coding skills, whatever, those matter. Okay, so lack of information, you want to fill the white space. Using designer templates, this is a very, very bad thing to do. Don't do it, please, because designer templates are, that's what the keyword says, it's designers. Okay, it's a designer template. The designer wants the people to see the design of this template, but I don't really see the content of that template. Okay, you are kind of obstructing the vision by this designer things, waves and backgrounds and etc. Unless you are a designer major, like this is important for your profile, your portfolio. Yeah, of course I could see that being important. But if you are, I don't know, you're in STEM major especially, no, white sheet, that's it, white sheet, this is your background, that's it. Okay, inconsistent fonts, make sure it's all consistent, make sure it's justified, all the corners are not like wiggling, etc. Not highlighting text like a focus on achievements, for example. Looks like one big text. That's what I said in the overload of information. Not using keywords. This is a big miss out for all of you out there, and including photos or graphics or tables and etc. So photos I don't need to see, and hopefully people will not be hiring you based on your gender or your looks. Okay. Be mindful of ATS. This is applicant tracking system. That's what I learned the term very, very recently. So this is what I was telling you at the beginning. You have very, very, like old school titles that all the sections go with, like summary, qualifications, education, professional experience, and etc. Right? That's what you want to do. Don't invent anything new. Okay, don't be like demonstrated value, professional achievements, career path, and etc. So ATS system doesn't pick up these things. They don't know what to do with it, with that section. And ATS cannot read certain formats. They cannot read headers and footers, text boxes, graphics, charts, graphs, pictures, tables, and columns. They just get confused, and your resume does just gets sifted away. Okay, you don't want to include any of these ones. Just be very, very mindful of the space you're using, because there's not much space. I will be how much are we by the time?
We have around 10-15 minutes.
Oh, okay, so we are good with the Q&A section.
So if anyone has any questions, sorry, you can pop it up in the chat or open your mic and ask your questions away.
Yeah. Oh, 10 people. Okay. If you have any questions, yeah, I'm sorry. I hope I was very concise and you could like understand the whole thing. I can send you the template that I use myself whenever I'm kind of reviewing anyone's resume and CV. I can send you the template if it's like by the end. I would send it to one of the organizers, and then maybe they could like send it at the end of it. End of the session. Oh, I can, yeah. So,
Any questions?
you mentioned not adding course under our major since they're related to our major, but what if I took certain courses which aren't obvious based on the name of my major? If you have like, you don't want to put it under education, but if you have taken certain courses that taught you certain skills, you can mention it in the core competencies section, right? Like you can say, if you've taken, for example, if you are like, I don't know, I have no idea what your major is. For example, I'm a bioscience, but I've taken some management courses. So I would say in the core competencies section, I would say project management as a core thing that I'm comfortable with and I'm familiar with. The same goes with your additional courses that you've taken through Coursera or other online courses. Like, you know, I know Google Courses has, and LinkedIn has some courses too. So you can mention those under core competencies or in the keywords, you know. So I'm doing biotechnology, but I'm taking entrepreneurship courses in the university. Yeah, I've also done that too. So it's okay. You can mention it in the core competencies section. Yeah, yeah, because a lot of us take entrepreneurship courses. So you want to mention what other skills you've achieved or you've learned about from that course. That would be great. That's a huge addition to kind of broaden your mind. So if you can, please mention these ones in the core competencies or in the keywords section. Okay. Also, one more thing. Sometimes people are confused and they start adding also their high school diplomas. Please don't do that. Your resume or CV starts. Your resume or CV starts from your bachelor's, master's, PhD. Okay. That's it. Don't start with your high school. I don't care how advanced, how high tech your high school was. Don't add your high school accreditation, your high school, whatever information. No, you don't need that. Do you recommend any website for creating a CV? No, I do not. I can only recommend you, 1 second. There is a, CV would be the academic one, right? No, I don't recommend any website because they're all designer based websites, especially the ones that people actually send me their CVs that were created by AI or whatever the company or the website, and they would be a lot of times they would be designer, or it would be a lot of times just, you know, copy paste, automatic copy paste, and it doesn't really a lot of wording, a lot of confusion, and etc. So you don't want to have that in your CV. So if you can, please work on it by yourself. Nada, hello, I'm doing a master's degree, but we're doing a project rather than a research. How to add that in the CV? Yeah, you would actually, if you want to add it in the education, for example, in the master's degree, you add it in the master's degree, like you would have your title of your master's degree, and then under it you would say thesis, and then or project title, for example, thesis project title, and then you write the project title, and then when you go to the experiences, you again mention it, master thesis. Okay, Nada, master thesis, and then you start writing about your master thesis. Okay, because your master's degree thesis and your PhD degree thesis all count as experience. You're welcome, Abdullah. How long should a CV or resume be pages? I would say, for example, my personal resume CV is because I'm a PhD. I have 4 pages, so I have 4 pages. But someone with undergrad, I would say 2 pages, maximum 3. So aim something around 2 to 4 pages. Okay, so and be very, very specific, be very mindful of your space, of the bullet points, of everything you have in your resume and CV. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay, that's good. Okay, no, I cannot. I thought I could like send the template here, but I cannot do that. Okay.
Maybe you can share it with us, and then for anyone who's interested to getting the templates, just email us at the Saudi Society at University of Manchester, and we will share the template with you.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, guys. You can. Some, for example, one of the things that people use is how can I say it? Kind of you know, they have very good profile. If you see that they studied abroad, they have so many skills and etc. But all I see is just listing these things over and over again, but no actual details of what their project was about. So please avoid that. Don't say, for example, in the internship or a master's degree, I did this and then this and then this and then this and then this and that's it. Okay, say actually what was your project about in 3, 4, 5 sentences, and say in bullet points very specifically what was the achievement. Okay, maybe you worked in a clinical setting, so you have 200 patient pool, or you've worked, I don't know, kind of something that's quantifiable that I could say like, oh wow, this person worked with a huge sample size, or this person has a very good outcome out of this very short experience, you know. So you want to actually grab the attention of the reader. This is a storytelling. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna jobs. No, I will also send website which is good for creating cover letters, which was also suggested to us by KAUST. Yeah, a lot of resources that we've taken was from the KAUST career, how do you say, career administration? No, I forgot the career department.
Yeah, development center, I guess.
Yeah, that one. They're really good, and like, you know, send good resources and like online resources. Okay.
Any other questions? Perfect. I think we've covered them all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was nice.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your informative masterclass.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Yeah.
I personally learned a lot, so thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. And if you have any questions, by the way, please feel free to. I have a Instagram page, PhD/bottom/iKiram. I share a lot of like academic insights and these type of things, you know, workshops, webinars. Sometimes I do them whenever I have time, because I have a toddler. It's very, very difficult. Right now, I kicked out everyone from the house to do this webinar. So I hope it was very, very informative and helpful for you guys. And I wish you all the best in your career and everything you're achieving and aiming to achieve in your future. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.